Hello, this is Amin, and you are watching session 59 of ASP.NET Core MVC tutorial. In this session, we are going to talk about ASP.NET Core Authentication. For authentication, we can use different packages and different ways, but during this tutorial, we are going to talk about ASP.NET Core Identity, and I'm using Identity NuGet package for authentication and authorization, which we are going to talk in this session and the couple of the next session. ASP.NET Core Identity give this ability to your application to do CRUD operation for a user account, and also you can implement authentication and authorization on your web application. Also, you can do email confirmation, reset password, multi-factor authentication, and open authorization, which we call it OAuth or external authentication, same as the authentication that you can use with Google accounts, with Gmail accounts, with Facebook account, and so on and so forth. First, we need to install one package for this purpose, which is identity package. Its total name is Microsoft.ASP.NET Framework Core, and then we should implement our context class from identity DB context, which we previously use DB context. But if we want to implement authentication and use identity, we should implement our DB context from identity DB context. And also, as we want to use the entities which will be created automatically by identity, I should add base.onModelCreation, which you can see inside the constructor that I have, protected override void on model creating. And we already discussed about this section, but we do or require changes in this section as well. And also I need to add identity services inside the startup cloud configure services. And as you can see, I should use identity user and identity role for this purpose. And because this identification and this authorization is working based on user and role, and also I need to add the use authentication middleware inside the startup class and configure class. Let's move to Visual Studio and implement the required changes to add authentication ability to our web application, which we have implemented during this tutorial series. This is our web application, and first I need to add the NuGet package that I explained earlier inside the slides for this purpose. As we discussed it earlier, I'm going to dependency, right click on dependency and go to manage NuGet package. These are the packages that I have already installed, and I'm going to browse, and I'm going to install ASP.NET Core.Identity, which is the package that I need, Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.Identity.Entity Framework Core. As I already installed version 6, I should downgrade this one to version 6.0.2. A version that you want to install, it depends on the other related NuGet package that you have already installed. And as you can see, if I want to install this version, my Microsoft extension identity store and my Microsoft.Entity Framework Core.Relational should be 6.0.2 or newer version. That's why as I want to have compatibility between Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.Identity.Entity Framework Core with the rest of the NuGet packages that I have already installed. I installed exactly the version 6.0.2. I accept the licenses. And my package is installed. And if you look at here, and you can see my entity framework core, which I have installed, is version 6.0.2, and the rest are the same. And I have already talked about how you can update your NuGet packages in the previous sessions. Let me close the NuGet package. And next, as I explained inside the slides, I should go to the model and web app DB context. As you can see, now my DB context is implemented from DB context. As I want to implement identity, I should use identity DB context. I should add its namespace. I add the required namespace, which is inside Microsoft.ASP.NET Framework Core, the NuGet package that just I installed on this project. And here I need to add the base class. And I add base.onModel creation, and I use this model builder. Let me save the changes. And then I'm going to startup class. And here I'm going to add identity services. As I explained earlier, I should use identity user and identity role. And then add entity framework store. And here I should use my DB context. This is the name of my DB context. I copy it from here, and I'm going to here and paste it here. With this line of code, I add the add identity service to my services. And if I'm going to the definition of this identity user, you can see this is implemented from identity user, and it has username and rest of the property which I need for this purpose. Password, hash, security stamp, and the rest of the properties that I will have inside the user entity. And next, I need to add authentication middleware here. Now I do all the changes. Let's, before continuation of this implementation, I save the changes, and I will look at my database which I have for my project. I'm going to SQL Server Object Explorer, and I'm going to my desired database. Here you can see inside the tables, I just have migration history, DBO cards, DBO categories, and DBO costs. And I don't have any entity for users, roles, and authentication purposes. For adding the required entities, I need to go to Package Manager console and do add migration, and I call it add identity entities. My migration class is created, and as you can see, there is several entity and table will add to my database, same as ASP.NET roles, ASP.NET users, ASP.NET role claims, ASP.NET user claims, ASP.NET user logins, ASP.NET user roles, ASP.NET user tokens, and I will discuss more about these entities and how you can create a user, do a CRUD operation for a user, for a role, how you can assign a role to a user or remove a role to a user in the upcoming sessions. To add these class and these entities to my database, I need to launch update database command inside Package Manager console. I'm going to launch the update database command. Build started and build succeed. And if I look at my database again, you can see I have the desired entities here, which are started with ASP prefix, and its name is ASP.NET role claim, ASP.NET roles, ASP.NET user claims, ASP.NET user logins, ASP.NET user roles, ASP.NET users, ASP.NET user token. I will discuss about these features and how you can do authentication and authorization in upcoming session. In this session, we discussed about adding identity and authentication to our web application. We add the required NuGet package to our application and do the changes to have the identity inside our application. And then we do add migration and update database to have the required entities and tables inside my database. In upcoming session, we are going to do CRUD operation for user, and we are going to add authentication and authorization to our web application. Thank you for watching this session. Don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, like this video, put your comment below this video, and share your idea with ourselves. Once more, thank you for being with us.